Okay then, time for some math, my lovelies. And today we are going to be looking at multiplication, but we are going to be using what we've learned over the past few weeks to help us solve some problems. And the first thing we're going to do, though, is to warm up our maths brains, because we're going to need those to help us today. So we are going to do some counting in fives, and I'm going to do it with you today, as long as I don't fall off my beanbag. And we're going to do our fives today. So we need one hand at a time, because we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers on our hands to help us. So we're going to count from 5 all the way up to 100, and then we're going to go all the way back down again. Okay, are we ready? 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. How many of you raced ahead to try and beat me? Yeah, I think a few of you might have. Let's see if we can go back down now then, staying together from 100. Are we ready? 100, 95, 90, 85, 80, 75, 70, 65, 60, 55, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 0. Well done, we made it. How did you get on with that? If counting forwards and backwards in fives is a little bit tricky for you, or even the forwards is okay, but it's the going back that's tricky, then do spend a few more minutes doing a little bit more counting before you move on with me. Or as always, we've got our YouTube counting songs there that you can have a little sing along with, and those will help you as well. All right then. So as I said, today we're solving problems using multiplication. Let's have a look at our vocabulary that we're going to be using. So we've got that multiply and multiplication. There's nothing new there. We've got times, lots of, groups of, nothing new there. We've got an array, still nothing new. So that's how we can show the calculation with our dots. And then we've got that word that I struggled to say last time, commutative, which means we can switch it around. It doesn't matter which order we do it in for multiplying. We can do, and it shows us on our array here at the top, we can do 5 lots of 6 or 6 lots of 5. It doesn't matter which way we go, but the answer will be the same. Okay, so I'll teach it to start off with. As I said, we're going to be doing problems, so we need to make sure that we look at what the problem says. We need to think about what the calculation is. What does the problem tell us? What information do we have? What do we need to work out? So lots of questions to go through the process of solving these calculations today. So I'm going to read through the questions, then you can pause me, have a little go at working them out, and then unpause me, and I'll go away from my shared screen, and I will do the working out on a whiteboard to show you and make sure that you understand before we move on. Okay, so the first question says, how many wheels do 6 bikes have? I'll read it one more time. How many wheels do 6 bikes have? So what do we know? We know the question is about bikes, and we know that we've got to work out something to do with the wheels. So how many wheels does a bike have? Yes, you're right, it's 2, isn't it? Unless it's a bit of a different bike, but generally we've got 2 wheels. So we need to know how many wheels there are on 6 bikes. So for that one, we've got to do 6 lots of 2. Or 2 lots of 6, because remember, we can switch it around. All right, so that's the first one. The second one says, how many eyes do 8 children have? How many eyes do 8 children have? So what do we know? The question is asking us about eyes, and it's asking us about 8 children. So how many eyes do we have? That's right, 2. So you need to do 2 8 times, or 8 lots of 2. So in a moment, I'd like you to pause me, and you can go and get whatever equipment you want to use. Remember, you might use pens, you might use bugs, you might have different toys around the house. So you could get things and do it practically, or you could do it drawing pictures and using arrays. But have a go and then come back to me. So the first one is 6 lots of 2 for our bikes. And the second one is 8 lots of 2 for the children and their eyes. So have a go, and then I'll help you and see if you got it right. Okay, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen then. So the first one we needed to do was 6 lots of 2. So we're thinking about our bike, and we know that our bikes have 2 wheels. So I'm going to draw some groups of 2. Oh, I've forgotten. How many groups of 2 did I need to draw? Can you remind me? That's right, it was 6. Okay, so I've got 1 group, 2, 3, 4. I'm chuckling because these look like funny faces with eyeballs and a number underneath. I'll show you in a minute. 5, 6. So these are my 6 lots of 2. Okay. So now to find the answer, I need to count how many I've got all together. Sorry, the sunlight was shining on it then, you couldn't see. So let's use our 2s to do some counting. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Well done. So all together, your answer should have been 12. So 6 multiplied by 2, or 6 lots of 2, is 12. Now I've drawn groups this time. For the next one, I'm going to draw it in an array, just to check that you can remember how to do that. Oh, rub, 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 rub. So for the next one then, we had 2 pairs, not 2 pairs of eyes, but 2 eyes. And we needed to know how many 8 children had all together. So our calculation would be 2 times 8. Okay, so this time I'm going to number my groups down first of all, because I know that I need 8 of them, and then I won't lose count of how many I've done. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've numbered my groups. I've got my 8 children there, and now I need to draw my 2 eyes to go and represent those 8 children. So my array is forming. I'm trying to keep them in nice straight lines, because we learned over the last few weeks that that's easier for then doing our counting and doing our checking. So there we go. I've represented the calculation 2 times 8 as an array this time. So again, all I need to do now to find the answer is, you're right, count them. So let's count in our 2s then. Off we go. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Well done. I can hear a few little yeses because you got it right. Brilliant. Well done, all of you. So those are the first 2 calculations. I'm just going to go back to sharing with you again so that we can move on. Give me a moment. Lovely, lovely, patient children. Well done. Here we go. So we had 12 and we had 16. Moving on then, sometimes the problems that we have might have 2 parts to them, and they're a little bit more complicated. But don't panic. We're going to go through exactly the same process with looking at what we know and what we need to know and what we need to do. So it's about biscuits. Which has the most biscuits? Okay. We have 4 packets of biscuits, and there are 5 in each packet. Or we have 3 packets of biscuits, and there's 10 in each packet. So we know we've got to do 2 things. And we can't do both of those at once, so we need to do one at a time. So we need to look at that first line first. It says 4 packets of biscuits with 5 in each packet. So what we need to do there is work out our calculation. And what is our calculation going to be? Who can shout the loudest to tell me? Oh, well done. It's 4. Ooh, I'm using my skills today. Times 5. Okay, so we've got to do 4 lots of 5 to work out how many biscuits there would be. Okay, now we could do it in groups, or we could do it as an array like I've already shown you, or actually we could do our repeated addition. So we could do 4 5 times, or we can make it commutative, I love that word, or 5 lots of 4. So I'm going to go for 4 5 times. Oh, hang on. Is counting in 4s easy? No, it's not as easy for us, is it? So actually, I'm going to switch it, and I'm going to do 5, add 5. I'm going to do my 5s first and then put my symbols in after to make sure I don't lose track. I've got 3 5s. Now I've got 4 5s. I'm having to concentrate really hard. Let's put those add signs in. So we know we're multiplying, but we're using repeated addition. We know that we need to do 4 lots of 5. Okay, and now we need to do our counting to find the answer. We've done our counting in 5, so this should be super duper easy. We've got 5, 10, 15, 20 all together. Now, some of you that are brilliant at spotting patterns might not have needed to count in 5s. You might have just been able to look at the screen and see that it's actually 2 lots of 5. Add another 2 lots of 5. Whoops. Which would give us 10, 20 all together. Okay, sorry about my squiggles there, that went a little bit messy. Next one then, so we've done the first part of the question. So the next part of the question is that we've got 3 packets of biscuits and there's 10 in each packet. So what's the calculation this time? That's right, so we've got to do 3 lots of, or times, multiplied by 10. 3 lots of 10, or 10 3 times if we switch it around. But actually, I'm going to do the efficient way. I'm going to do the way that's quicker, and I am going to do 3 lots of 10. But again, you could draw it as an array. You could draw it as a picture. You could go and get those bugs and pens and things and use those if you've got enough. I'm going to go for writing it down to show you for this one. So I've got my 10, add another 10, add another 10. So let's check. I needed 3 lots of 10. 1, 2, 3. Brilliant. Well done me. So now we need to do our counting. How many all together? We've got 10, 20, 30. So 3 multiplied by 10 equals 30. So now we've solved both parts of the question. We need to actually then come up with an overall answer. So we know that 4 packets of biscuits, and there's 5 in each one, gives us 20 biscuits altogether. And we know that 3 packets of biscuits with 10 in each one gives us 30. So actually, which one has the most biscuits? Which of those calculations would you rather have if I actually gave you all of the biscuits? I'm not going to, because that's not really very healthy, is it? But which one? You're right, it would be the 3 packets of biscuits with 10 in each one. And we've proved that we're right because we've worked out the calculation. And on this occasion, I've worked it out by using repeated addition. You might have worked it out using an array. You might have worked it out by drawing the pictures of the foods or by counting the objects. And that's going to help you a little bit later on when I talk about our sentence stems and our reasoning. Okay, hopefully that was all right and you understand it. So today then, you need to remember to make sure you read the problem carefully, draw your pictures or arrays or get your objects to help you work it out. You are going to be still using those tables of 2, 5s and 10s, so make sure you look at the calculation like that one we had a few minutes ago where we didn't want to count in 4s, we preferred to count in 5s, so think about which way around you're going to do it. And then we're going to explain how we know. So we're getting that reasoning in there today. Okay, I'll practice it then. We've got 3 questions to have a look at. The first one says, lollies cost 5 pence each. How much does it cost for 5 lollies? Okay, lollies cost 5 pence each. How much does it cost for 5 lollies? So have a go at that calculation. We need 5 lollies and each of them are 5 pence. How much altogether? I'm going to talk you through like I did before and then show you, so don't worry. The next one, sweets cost 10 pence each. How much does it cost for 8 sweets? So this time we need 8 sweets and they each cost 10 pence. How much is that all together? And the last one, how many legs, I nearly said in the wrong order, put my teeth in. How many legs do 9 birds have? Okay, so think about a bird. How many legs do they have? 2, that's right. And you need to know how many 9 of them would have. So you might have been able to work out that answer straight away in your head because you know your tables, but remember we need to see that working out. So I've read through the questions, pause the video, go through each one, okay, have a go, work out the answers in any way you want to, whether it's array, as I've already said, or you're counting, and then unpause me and come back to me and we'll go through those answers together, okay? Right, I'm going to stop sharing so that you can see me again. I'm back. The first one then, so we had 5 lollipops and they were each 5 pence. So hopefully you got that the calculation was 5 times 5 or 5 lots of 5, okay? The money bit doesn't really matter. The calculation is still the same and the maths is still the same. So don't get caught up or worried or anxious with it, all right? So I am going to draw this time a picture because that's another way that you could have done your work today. So I'm drawing some lollipops. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 1 more. Okay, so I've got my 5 lollipops. And I need to remember that each one was worth 5. I'm just drawing the number because that's quicker. There we go. So now that's right. We need to count them to work out how many all together. Get my pointy finger ready. We've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So all together, because it's money, the lollipops would have cost 25 pence. Well done. Give yourself a little yes if you got the answer right. If you didn't, as always, don't worry. Just go back and have another little look. Or now that you've seen mine, go back and try it again. Copy mine and recount it out. It's all about learning and understanding what we've got to do. So keep going with it. Don't give up. Next one then was we had 10 sweets and there were 10 pence each and we had 8 sweets. So I'm going to need to do 8 lots of 10 or 10 lots of 8. Does it matter? No, it doesn't, does it? So I need to have I'm going to do my 8 lots of 10. So I'm going to draw my groups down like I did before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and I need to have 10 for each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're keeping track for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many groups is that? 7, 8, 9, 10. You're right, that's 5 now, though I've done an extra one. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like a circle challenge from the other week. 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I'm there. So actually for this one, because it's bigger numbers, an array might not be the way to go. You might want to have done it as numbers, but I just need to show you the different ways of doing it. Okay, I have got my 8 lots of 10 pence. Let's see how many we've got all together. So we're counting in tens. Well done. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And we had to remember that it was money, didn't we? So we've got 10 times 8, or 10 pence times 8. Sorry, I've squished that all up into the corner. So we've got 10 pence times 8 equals 80 pence. Well done. If you got 80 pence for the second one, that's brilliant. Don't worry if you didn't though. Go back and work out where you went wrong. That's part of the challenge. Third one. So we had to think about birds' legs, and we know that birds have 2 legs. So we need to know how many legs 9 birds have. So our calculation is 2 times 9. So we've got to count in 9s. That's a little bit tricky. Or for some of us, you might be able to double it, so it's not. I'm going to go in 2s. I'm going to go 1, 2 groups, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've done groups this time instead of an array. So I've got my 9 groups of 2. Okay, let's count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Well done. So for that third question, the answer was 18. There would be 18 legs all together on all of those birds. So very well done, and hopefully me showing you has helped you to make sure that you know how to set your work out. Here we go, back to the PowerPoint. So, oh, it's frozen, it's not letting me move on. There we go. So now over to you is you've got some do-its here to practice, okay? There are some different problems for you to work your way through, similar to the ones we've just been doing, and see how you get on. So you can show your answer as a picture, you can show it as an array, you can do it as groups, you can do it practically, whatever helps you, okay? But work your way through and see how you get on with them. Then we've got the secure it. Now, don't panic. I can see some of your faces. I can see you looking at that thinking, what? I can't do that. You can, and you will understand it. However, if once I've gone through it, you're not sure, there are underneath this video on the website some extra do-its today and some slightly easier problems. So see where you're at, okay? If this is what you're not quite ready for, don't panic, you're not ready for it yet. Go and do something you are ready for, and you can come back to this at another time, okay? However, let me explain this one to you because I think you will get it. Have a look. So this comes back to our, sometimes we can do it in 2 steps, like our problems from earlier. So on the screen, let me find a pointer so you can see where I'm looking. Here we go. We've got 10, add 10, add 10, add 5, add 5. So it's shown in our repeated addition. We can make this easier by grouping it together. If we look at how many 10s we've got 1, 2, 3. So we can rewrite the calculation as 3 times 10. Then let's count the 5s. We've got 1, 2 of them, okay? So we've got 2 times 5. So if we do 3 times 10, and then we do 2 times 5, we'll be able to solve the calculation and say how many we've got all together, okay? So see, it's not as tricky as it looked, is it? Let's do this one together. So 3 times 10, we've got 10. Oh, let me change to my pencil. That would help, wouldn't it, rather than the laser? So we've got 10, 20, 30. Then we've got 2 5s. 5 add 5. Oh, I know, that's 10. So we've got another 10 there. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40. So actually, the answer to the calculation is 40. Okay, well done. Right, let's do this next part. I'm going to help you with the calculation, but then you're going to do the answer. So what's the first thing we need to do? That's right, we're going to count the 5s because that's the first part of the calculation. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, lots of 5. So we've got 6 times 5. Okay, now we need to count what other numbers we've got. That's right, we've got 3s. How many of them? 1, 2, 3. So then we've got to add on 3 times 3. And some of you might be sitting there going, hang on, Mrs. Wood, you said we were only looking at the 2, 5 and 10 times table today. Well, this is an extra little bit of a sneaky challenge for you because you know I like to challenge you. Right, so there we have it. We've got 6 times 5 because we've got 6 of those 5s here. And we've got 3, lots of 3. So now you need to work out the answer and then come back to me and see if you're right. Okay, how did you get on? So 6 lots of 5. We've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I'm just going to write the number underneath this time to help me. So I don't need to remember that one now. I've done that one. Now I need to do 3 lots of 3. You might have needed to draw it as an array, or you might have needed to get your objects. That's fine. I'm going to use my counting in 3s today just to help us and speed us up that little bit more. So I've got 3, 6, 9. So I know that 3 lots of 3 is 9. Oh, straight away, I don't even need to do any adding because I can see that I've got 30 and 9. And if I put those together, I've got 39 all together. Well done. Okay, so this time I'm going to leave you to have a go at the rest if you think you can do it. If not, as I said before, don't worry, go back and try some more of those other activities. But work your way through, group the numbers first of all, work out both parts and then put them back together for what you have all together at the end. Okay, and that's our secure it for today. Next then is our deepen it. Now I'd like you to try using some of those sentence stems. Do you remember at the start we explained how we worked out some of the calculations? So here are our sentence stems, and see which ones you can use at the end of the activity, or you could go back now and see which ones you could use for some of those earlier calculations, and how can you explain your reasoning. Okay. Now, this is a little bit of a tricky one. Again, don't panic. This is a challenge for today. Using what you know, put a circle around the number that could reasonably, I don't know what that means, be correct. Explain how you know. Okay, reasonably means You don't necessarily have to work out the answer to be able to circle it, okay? It's a bit of a prediction, but you might like to go away and work it out just to see if you can, because if you've already spotted, we've got some bigger numbers here and these are a little bit tricky. So we've got 19 multiplied by 5. Could that be 84, 95 or 93? Well, if you use the strategy like we've just used in the Secure It, you could partition this 19 and do 10 lots of 5 and 9 lots of 5 to work out which the answer would be. And actually, I think that one's the hardest, because if you look at this next one, it says 19 times 2. So you can double that, or you could draw out 19 things twice into 2 groups, or you can do it as an array, however you do. But which one is the answer? Is it 35, 33 or 38? And then there's one more. So we're really seeing if you can apply what you know today. 19 multiplied by 10. What happens to that number when we're multiplying by 10? I wonder if you can work it out. So that is your maths for today. Okay, have a go, see how you get on. You might have already finished because you were pausing me along the way. So how did you do? Have a little think. What was easy? What was tricky? What have you now learnt that you can use another time to help you? I wonder. And again, just to remind you, if those seem a little bit hard or a little bit tricky, you can go back to the internet, to the website page, and choose some of those other activities where you can do a little bit more practice to help build your confidence. Okay, so there you have it. Off you go, see how you get on. I'm sure you'll be amazing because you always are. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.